Welcome back to Digital Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen. And this is the Ripple Labs IPO watch. And nothing happening to date, but as promised, we will keep a close eye on any of this information if it changes on their SEC filing page. So let's get into this thing. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is really important to see taking shape here in the space, because I believe it's not if, it's not when. The question is how big? How big can this space get? There's a combination of some things I want to look at, and sometimes you got to look in the past to be able to get a clear vision about what's happening today, right now, in real time. I believe right now in this time, we are moving into what I believe is the dot-com era of crypto and blockchain. I want to take you through some things of yesterday just to remind you, and then kind of see how they line up. And then I want to show you some breaking news between the company linked to and Uphold, which is pretty damn exciting as well. And I think we're going to tie all this in to really get a clear vision about exactly what is happening. Stay with me here. I won't take long. All right, here we go. Let's get moving. So what was the dot-com era, right? The dot-com era was a speculative bubble formed by the rapid rise in interest in internet companies during the 5 years leading up to the peak. Many businesses were born with the primary focus of gaining market share through brand building and network. During the 5 years leading up to the peak, what I'm suggesting is that we are on the fringe of breaking into a bull market that will last at least as long as the dot-com era did. It may be a 10 or 15 year bull market. At any rate, let's keep moving. Here's a clip of what it looked like to be on the precipice, the edge of that market taking off. Listen to the famous words of Brian Gumbel and Katie Couric and them sitting here.
I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
that little
right.
mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it.
Around.
I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard something around big fight up in the lunchroom the other week.
There it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean,
well, Allison should know.
What
do you
is
say
internet
that,
anyway?
How many times have you talked to family or friends and had this exact same conversation about crypto and blockchain? What is Bitcoin? I don't even know what cryptocurrency is. I mean, so you're telling me I've got to give you my real money, and then they're going to give me fake money, and then after I get the fake money, you're telling me I got to turn that money into a different fake money so I can get the other fake money you told me I should buy. That's the way it really used to work, and that's the conversation I had with hundreds of people, let alone thousands and tens of thousands of people on the channel. I'm just talking about in real life, people that I've talked to about crypto and blockchain. This is analogous to where we are and where we've come. And I think actually what we're seeing today is taking us a step further past that moment. Now, not to say that there isn't a lot of people out here that don't understand what crypto is, because there's more that don't understand it that do. But the reality is that what I'm about to show you is that the institutions and the government agencies are making way for a brand new era, and it's the crypto era. And let's take a look at just some of the companies that made it through that dot-com era. Heard of them, right? That's right, Amazon. How about Adobe? Yeah, almost everyone has that on their computers, right? ASML, right? Computer company here. This is unbelievable. The world's leading chip maker. They made it through the dot-com era. How about Intuit? Software for accounting and taxes. How about IBM? Yeah, pretty sure you've heard of IBM, right? And they are neck deep, by the way, in blockchain and crypto, right? So don't lose sight of that one. Don't want to forget that one. Then there's ARM. ARM is another software company that made it through the dot-com era. And how about these guys? eBay. Need some sneakers? All of these are companies that made it through that bubble and survived and had what they needed as a real product, a real service to solve a pain point for a particular point of industry or group of people, and they are still here today. Now, check this out. Can the dot-com bubble happen again? Yes, it's possible. Be very careful of what you hear here. This is absolutely key to why I'm making this video. Yes, it's possible. Note that bubbles are an artifact of the stock market, not of technology. Oh, I'm going to say it again. Yes, it's possible to have a dot-com bubble happen again. It is possible because bubbles are an artifact of the stock market, not of technology. Boom. And what have we been seeing as of lately? Well, I'll tell you what we've been seeing as of lately. We've been seeing companies like Uphold start to sell on places like Link2, Private Investing Made Simple, Ripple, Coinbase, Robinhood, Blockchain Coin Investors. All of these companies are selling in private equity situations because they're raising capital. They're making money. They're raising money, and we know at least, at the very least, Ripple and Coinbase have made it very clear that their end goal is to IPO. And what did we just learn about bubbles? Bubbles are not caused by technology. Bubbles are caused by an artifact of the stock market. You know what else helps that along? When you open up a federal charter so that all the banks in the United States of America can custody digital assets. Hello. Is this on? Get your feet off the coffee table. Listen to what I'm telling you here. This is what's happening. Here's the other thing. Remember this? Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection released the rule that is already effective for 3 days now, that the sender and receiver of cross-border payments should be able to see the transactions and fees before they actually accept the transaction. 2 solutions cited in this were Ripple and XRP and Swift GPI. Just those 2. By the way, inside that document, it also expresses that XRP is a virtual currency. Say it with me. Money. The reality here is, as we're seeing an enormous push from the government and regulatory agencies to clear the path for the traditional markets and banks and financial system to get into this space, I believe what we're also seeing by looking at things like this, that the institutions and the large money are not only getting into this space behind crypto and digital assets, but the brick and mortar companies that are behind them. Now, I want to show you, because there is some really great news that goes along with what Uphold is doing with Link2, and I'm going to play you this clip right now, and then we're going to take a look at a chart that I want you to see, and it's pretty damn compelling. So let me get this back here at 0, and there's only a couple spots I want to show you out of this. It'll be very quick. Let's listen. This is Bill, the co-founder, Bill Saris from Link2. I want you to hear what he says. He's going to make some comments to us about the SEC accredited investor changes, and then he's going to make some comments to us about how he feels about the crypto space and the dot-com era of crypto. This is going to be remarkable. Let's just hear the opening here. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So we've had the pleasure to get a hold of Bill Saris, co-founder of Link2. Bill, thank you for being here today with us.
Brad, pleasure to be here. Very excited about it.
Well, I'm excited too because, look, Link2 is doing some amazing work. I mean, you guys have some incredible products, and we're going to get into that in a second. But before we do, just briefly tell everybody what Link2 is. What do you do?
Okay, so Link2 is doing for private securities what Coinbase did for crypto, what Robinhood did for public securities. We're democratizing the space. Currently in the secondary market, if you want to play in the unicorn space, generally you need at least $250,000, sometimes millions, in order to make a play. We've brought it down to minimum $10,000, even $5,000 investments, and you can buy some major unicorn equity in the current market.
Wow. So there is a change right there in their business model and being able to set up to where they can appeal to the smaller investor. Now, let me move this ahead to a new spot here where you hear what he says about the SEC. Listen to this. We someday see that the market opens up for anybody to participate?
Well, it's moving in that direction. I was at a talk by Jay Clayton almost 2 years ago in Austin, where he made the point that he didn't think that companies like Uber, at that time they're still private, and Airbnb and some of the major unicorns should be restricted from investment by retail investors, when those same retail investors could invest in Amazon and Apple and companies like that. And the SEC has been moving in that direction. They've proposed the relaxing or the extension of the accredited investor status to meet a broader audience. And that's already in the later stages of being voted on. So even if you're not an accredited investor today, you may wake up in 3 months and find out that you are now an accredited investor because the regs are moving. The line is blurring as to what an accredited investor is versus a retail.
Wow. He just told us that the SEC is in the process of late stages of being able to relax some of these accredited investor statuses so people can get into this game. That to me is remarkable, and I did not know it before today. I consider that a little slice of breaking news right there. And here's another little slice. Let me take you to this spot, which I found very interesting. Look, again, look at the early days of the internet when you saw the big companies come in and you saw the blending and the intertwining or the merging of traditional markets, traditional institutions, venture capitalists, things like that, working together with the new technology to create something amazing. Now listen to what they're talking about here. This is Uphold and Link2 wallet, and listen to what they can do. This is pretty amazing. Link2's now doing with Uphold. What in the world is going on there?
Well, you know, Uphold is a friend of ours. They're a very strong partner. We've already worked with them on a number of things, but within the next week or so, we'll be releasing our wallet, which is the Uphold wallet through API connections. We're connecting with their wallet to put into the Link2 app. Currently, if you want to buy equity on our platform, the only mechanism is through a wire transfer.
A wire transfer? Now listen to what you can do now, because we know what a pain in the fanny wire transfers are. Listen to what he says.
But within a couple of weeks, you'll be able to use the Uphold wallet, and you can use your XRP to buy shares in Ripple Labs.
Whoa!
You can use yen to buy shares in Uphold. You can. They have something like, I think, 27 fiat currencies and 30 cryptocurrencies now on their platform. You'll be able to use any of that in order to transact business on the Link2 platform. So we're very excited about that. That's a major move for us forward.
That is major news, is right, Bill Saris from Link2. That is incredible. And one has to wonder, because I didn't get a chance to ask Bill about this, is that sounded an awful lot like the way the XRP ledger works back end, didn't it? Let's listen to what Bill says in this last comment here about the overall space in general, and you tell me what it sounds like to you. Now, this is a man who's a serial entrepreneur who has been through the dot-com era. Listen to what he says. I'll ask you a question now. With what you're seeing, and believe me, you guys have some amazing products. You got Coinbase on there, you've got Uphold, you've got Ripple stock, right? You got Robinhood. Now, listen, Coinbase has said they're going to IPO. Okay, Ripple said they intend to IPO at some point. I mean, are we moving into a dot-com era for crypto and blockchain? Is this I mean, you saw the dot-com era. I saw the dot-com era. I mean, is this that moment for us?
Well, you make a very good point, Brad. We are at an inflection point right now. In the internet era, our first major success, I'm a serial entrepreneur, was a national online real estate listing service that we sold to Microsoft back in the 90s. And in 1993, 95% of our business was over a touch-tone phone, you know, dial here, dial that. By 1995, 95% of our business was over the internet. And
wow, I want you to catch that right there. And I want to flash back and thank you to Bill Saris from Link2. An amazing comments from him right there, and so excited what they're doing with Uphold and Link2. But I want to flash you back to what he said about 93. It was all on touch-tone phone. 95. They were 95% all online on the internet. Now, that to me is a fascinating statement because, you know, if you look at where we are today, and let's just take a look at this chart right here. Let me pull this up. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a chart of the dot-com era and that time span. Now, if I had to guess where we are, I wouldn't say that we're maybe in 95. I'd say we're probably somewhere around this dip right here. That's where my call would be. Maybe we're a little sooner, but I think we're somewhere right around here in 99. Because look, for one, there's a learning curve. We don't have to teach people what the internet is. The only thing people have to figure out now is that you could go to the bank and custody digital assets, right? You know, when you equate what Bill had just said about their business, touch-tone phone, and then a couple years later, it's 95% of the business is actually on the internet. Look at where we are today. Right now, if you want crypto, you got to go to a coin exchange, very specific. Well, guess what? Not too long from now, you'll be able to go to the bank you've been going to since you've had a bank account and be able to custody your crypto. And you'll be able to actually interface with a front-facing platform to be able to do so. Because there is a company called Vesto, and I'm going to use them as an example. And there's going to be tons of companies out here. Vesto is a company I spoke with and covered just a few weeks ago in a virtual conference. They have developed a front-facing platform that interfaces as a plug-and-play for banks. So you can buy and sell, convert your crypto, and stable coins. This takes the onus or the liability off of the bank, uses a third-party interface. You come there, you convert, you buy crypto, and then you have the bank custody for you, which is more than likely going to be third-party done by a PolySign or Standard Trust. You can see the system coming together as we speak. By the way, Vesto is backed by Lloyds Bank of London, and they're also working with Silvergate Bank with Barry Silbert. Heard of them? This is a pretty compelling moment, and I wanted to lay all of this out because this is remarkable about the banks, but there's a much larger picture here, and I think that much larger picture looks a lot like this, the dot-com era, and I personally believe we're right about here at the bottom of that spike where we saw some good news for 2017, 2018, and we've been down for a few years now in this hole. And I think we're about to come out of this hole, and we're about to come out of this hole with everything that we've needed all along, which is the right agencies, the right regulatory bodies on our side, paving the way for a regulatory sandbox with the federal charter for the national banks. And then on top of that, we are going to see massive institutional money, venture capitalists, and firms move from the traditional markets and combine, merge, or acquire companies in this space to really, really develop into a legitimate marketplace. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I couldn't be more excited, if you can't tell, about where we're going. Big shout out to Bill Saris and Link2 and all the good things they got going on with Uphold. Sounds like there's a lot more to learn there as well. I will catch all of you on the next one.